Yeah. Welcome to the wonderful world of biology. This class will teach you all about life. But the major basic themes of biology are matter, energy, and organization, basically the emergent properties. Things put together work together. So if you think about your whole body, things that are put together work together in there. If you look outside in the world, things that are put together work together. And looking at how things get energy, the sunlight is the start of all the energy source and how it cycles through. The next theme is cell structure and function. You will hear over and over again, structure follows function. And because the cell is the basic unit of life, it makes sense that one of the major themes would be talking about cells. The third theme is stability and homeostasis. Basically, keeping things in a balance, whether it be life in general, life around you, the ecosystems, or inside your body. If you think about when you get sick, you're not in balance. You have a fever, you have a cold, you cough, you're sweating, you don't feel good. That is when you are not in balance anymore. The next theme is reproduction and inheritance. Basically, in order to live, you have to be able to reproduce, and therefore, in order to study life, we need to look at the different types of reproduction and inheritance, basically how we pass on our genes, because the DNA is what we are made up of, what makes us who we are. The theme of evolution is looking at how organisms are so different. If you look out into the ecosystems, you see all sorts of different plants and animals, yet we only came from one type of organism. How did that happen? And how did life actually evolve on this planet? And then the last theme is the interdependence of organisms. You will hear said over and over again, there's interconnectedness. Nothing can stand alone. And in life, that is true. In biology is study of life, and therefore nothing can stand alone in biology. So life is cool, seeing as you're living, but what can it do for you? What can biology, and the study of biology, actually do for you? Well, it can make you think critically, basically problem solve, which is a life skill and will be useful in any aspect of your life. Help you figure out various life functions and what could go wrong with you. So I think that's super important. If you don't feel well, why? Can you figure out what's going on? And it helps you appreciate the world around you and possibly help fix the problems that humans have caused. So if you look at Doug Pond, for instance, what can we do to help Doug Pond be a better ecosystem? So first off, the scientific method is a basic think critically aspect. It is very essential for scientific discoveries, and it's based on observations and inferences. So there's a major difference. Observations is actually what you see happening, and inferences are what you think could have happened. So if you look at this picture, your observation is that there's a crack in the world and in the earth, and that a house fell down, and that some poles fell down. Your inference would be that an earthquake happened. You're not positive, but you're inferring it. You're thinking it could have happened. And so when we go through the scientific method, observations and inferences are an essential part of those steps. Now, you have gone through these steps many, many times, and we'll be going over them many, many times throughout the whole year. But for the basics, you first make observations and formulate a question. You hypothesize, which is the if-then prediction statement, which has to be testable. You design a controlled, repeatable experiment. Very important that it is controlled and repeatable, and you basically only have one change happening. You only change one aspect of your experiment. That make sure it's controlled. Then you collect data, make sure it's in an organized fashion so that you can make sense out of it. Analyze your data, which is often graphing, and you analyze it so that you could accept or reject your hypothesis, and then draw conclusions and formulate a new question. It's a never-ending cycle. And it is not the end of the world to reject a hypothesis. Your hypothesis is a prediction. You can be wrong. It is actually more often likely in the real world that your hypothesis is wrong, and then you learn from your wrong hypothesis. So the other theme or other aspect of biology is that you learn about life. So what actually is life? What makes something alive? So when you look out and you see some trees and you see some grass and you see some animals, what makes them alive? Well, there are 8 basic characteristics of life. Now, there can be more or less depending on the book you read, but we are keeping these 8. So we're composed of cells. We display organization, very important. So if you look inside of you, you're organized into organs and organ systems. You grow and develop, you reproduce, you respond to stimuli, which are when the lights go off, your eyes dilate, that type of external stimuli, or internal stimuli is when you get hungry and so your belly aches. That is a stimulus that makes you eat. You require energy, whether you consume it or make your own via photosynthesis. You maintain homeostasis, that's the same balance that in your cells and in your body systems, and you're able to adapt. Now, all of these 8, if you look at them, are very related to the themes of biology, seeing as biology is the study of life.